Hey sports fans, here we are, wintertime, New River Gorge. It's still good here, believe it or not, just not today. We are at the Ambassador Buttress parking area. Right up the road here is the Fern Buttress parking area, which you may know better. This is the little brother cliff right down the street from it. Often overlooked. It's a small cliff, really one of the smaller cliffs here, but it does have some good routes at it, and it's worth a visit. It's a good landmark is Fern Buttress that direction, and you can see the bridge from right here. Hey, here we are at the base. We got here, you'll know how to get here. Parked right off the road. It's one of the best roadside crags at the New, or one of the closest roadside crags at the New. And this is our first featured route of the day. This is a 510 corner called Kidspeak. It's 510A. It's a little on the short side, but what's there is super good quality. Finger crack, it's got anchors on it. To the left is a fun route called the Underdiddled. It's a 510, goes up this nice flake and then pulls that roof with a bolt up high. Lunar Tunes is the other version of it. It goes up the flake and catches the arete and goes up. And both of those are worth doing. Kidspeak's really good. And we're going to move on down the cliff here to see some other ones. Bet you hadn't seen a crack like this since Vegas. Sorry, had to throw that in. This is Clumsy Club crack, 510, sporty finish at the top, protected by bolts. Killer fist crack. Bring your big Camelots for this one. It's definitely one of the featured ones down here. To the right, we have a really good 511C called Nouveau Reach. Climbs this arete. Pretty thin technical climbing. And then on the other side of Clumsy Club over here, we've got a no-name 511D sport route. I think it's a sport route. You might have to place a gear. Bring some TCUs, you'll be fine. That's right there. Now we're going to move on, check out the stacks of routes here in Ambassador Buttress. Hey, here we are at the site of the New River Gorge's first 512. I guess there's a little bit of debate about that, but for my purposes today, it's going to be the first 512. It's called the Bolting Blowfish. It's an Eddie Bagoon classic steep slab. It used to have some pins on it. It got rebolted in rack. Those great guys at InRack rebolted it recently. So it's 3 bolts. It's a little sporty, and it's real thin. So put on your edge and shoes for this one, and come experience the New River's first 512. Hey, right around the corner from the Bolting Blowfish is, many think, Ambassador Buttress's best route, Dragon in Your Dreams, a pocketed classic mixed route. It's got 2 bolts and anchors on it. It is New River, the bullet hard sandstone, pockets, continuous climbing from as soon as you leave the ground. Well worth the effort, even if you just did this route to come to Ambassador Buttress. It's called Dragon in Your Dreams, and appropriately enough, there's a 512 that joins it from the left called Enter the Dragon, for all you Bruce Lee fans. Goes up a few bolts and then joins it at the top and goes to the same anchor. Check them out. Bring your kung fu. Here we go, continuing the tour of the classics of Ambassador Buttress. You know, as most route names the names have a story behind them. So this one was New Year's Day, 1987, maybe? Daniel Miller, prolific West Virginia climber, Seneca Rocks guide, climbed here a bunch too. Some people know him as Tick, because he could just tick off pitch after pitch of 512, just never got tired. Well, Eddie Bagoon and I were here and on New Year's Day, and we were trying this route, and Daniel sent it. So it's called Old Lang Syne, and it is a vicious 512. I challenge anybody who thinks they climb 513 to come give this thing a go. In fact, Daniel's the only one who could do it that day. Anyway, this thing got rebolted this fall, and so now the rusty pins are gone, and there's a bolt in the place where each one used to be, and it's still, you know, it's still a good sporty route, but it's safe. So it's real hard. Come check it out. It's got anchors on it. Well worth the effort. It might be some pain and suffering, but if you're stronger than me, you'll do it. Hey, another Eddie Bagoon classic down here at Ambassador. This is called Chasing Rainbows. It's a really good 510. Another in-rack re-bolt job. Some old pins, old bolts on it. It's got anchors on it now, good to go. Classic Eddie Bagoon, you know, technical 510 arret, well worth the effort. Another Eddie Bagoon classic. This thing is, anybody who has ever experienced Eddie Bagoon's style of climbing and his first ascents probably know what I'm talking about. This one is not going to let you down in that respect. Technical, just cryptic, you know. You'll get up on there and you'll be, what the hell is going on up here, you know? And appropriately enough, the name is called, it's Reefer Derby. You know, you can draw your own conclusions from that. I won't have to tell you any stories. But anyway, wanders up this gray face. It's got a bolt here at the bottom. Take some TCUs, some gear up there. It'll be an adventure for you. Here we are near the end of this small little roadside cliff here at the New River Gorge, Ambassador Buttress. This wall is the home of two kind of steep slab routes. The one on the right's got 3 bolts. I think you need maybe 1 piece of gear. It's called Pleasure Principles. And this left one is notable because it was done by Mike Arts when TCUs first came out. So it was the routes like this that, you know, faces like this, tons of them at the New, that when TCUs, when Tolius and Wired Bliss and those companies came out with these tiny little camming units, all of a sudden these routes, these faces became available. And so you could just wander up these faces and be able to pretty much count on finding some slots for your TCUs, and it made a lot of these things go. And this one's actually only like 510B, 10C, and it's called Consenting Clips. It actually climbs a lot better than it looks. It looks like a gray fuzzy face at the New, but it's actually pretty good, and you know, a little historical note there with TCUs. We got one more route around the corner, and I'm going to bore you with one more story. And here we are at another kind of random arret. Ambassador Buttress looks blank, impossible. Eddie Bagoon and I tried this thing a long time ago, and we're never able to red point the thing. We kept falling off the same damn spot. And anyway, we did it, maybe yo-yoing it off the second bolt or something, and Rick Thompson, who wrote the original guidebook, just said, hell, I'm going to throw it in the book anyway. Ambassador needs some more routes. So he did, and we called it Success Through Deception, and we never claimed actually having climbed it. And so new guidebook author Mikey Williams came down here and said, all right, well, I'm going to actually bag the first ascent of this thing. And I think he might have done it the same style we did, so he kept the name. But we figured he could have he could get the credit. But it's hard, so any of you who like vertical, technical, impossible feeling rock climbs, that's a good 512. There you go, that's Ambassador Buttress.